OTAs, but now you're here at training camp. Does it feel different, and if so, how?
It's all business now. We're getting down to the season time, and I think everybody came back in great shape, as you could see from the run a little bit, and everybody's just ready to go out and compete. So I am too.
Robert, are there nerves that you have that maybe you didn't have at some of the other camps, the mini camps, the OTAs, things like that?
No, I think I was more anxious, maybe a little nervous for mini camps and OTAs, but now that I've been through the offense and had a trial at it, got a taste of how fast the game is and just what I need to do as a quarterback to help this team win, I feel a lot more comfortable. So it's actually more relaxing, and there's nothing else going on outside of football anymore. We're in training camp, so we're pretty much on lockdown, but for a guy like me, that's a good thing.
Robert, is that also because you have a comfort level with the teammates that you didn't have 2 months ago?
Yeah, it's all smiles in the locker room. So when you see guys you haven't seen in a while and you have that camaraderie, it really makes you feel good. Even in a short time, I think we've built great relationships, and the leaders are definitely stepping up, try to make this team be successful.
Put on the field too, in terms of knowing your receivers, knowing your guys, and
yeah, just throwing with the guys over the break and doing those types of things to get you more familiar with them, and you can just really see who's truly dedicated, and who you have to continue to stay on to make sure that they can show the team that they are dedicated. But aside from that, just working with those guys is a great thing.
Robert, there's been so much made about what you'll have to do to be successful this year. How will you define your own success as a rookie?
Yeah, that's like asking, me. That's like me asking, who are you? Like, why are you you? It's a difficult question to answer. So, success for us is winning football games. How many that is, I have no idea. It's definitely more than one, more than two, more than three. So we just want to go that way.
For you individually, though,
I don't set individual goals. So everything I do is based on the team. If we're winning, I'll wait.
You mentioned this a second ago. How do you balance that, all the celebrity and, getting ready for your NFL season?
It's great and easy to balance that now because the team doesn't look at me that way. They don't look at me as a celebrity. Yeah, I'm their quarterback and I'm the guy that's going to, lead them and lead them to victory. But, there's no celebrity. There's no autographs in the locker room for the most part. I'm not RG3 to them. I'm just Robert. So, that's good to be around those guys for these next, couple weeks and then into the preseason. It's going to be really good to just bear down and focus on football.
Did you outside of football too? The commercials, and we saw you a lot of award shows and stuff like that. Is this now? Do you put that completely on the back burner now?
I'm not going to any award shows or doing any commercials during the season. So, all that's done. I did my work in the off season, whether it was with marketing or just football work, making sure I stayed in shape and stayed on top of the playbook. I made sure I did all that while at the same time making sure I handled my business.
Did you ever, was there any reluctance on your part to put yourself out there for some of those endorsement opportunities, considering you're an unproven product at the NFL level?
You're only unproven if you think you're unproven. So, I'm not proven, but I don't think I'm unproven either. So it's a hard way to answer that. But I get what you're saying. The only thing I made sure I stayed with was it's companies I truly believe in and not just doing things to get money. So it was a great experience. Doing all those things. Everybody wants to be in a Gatorade commercial, get the Gatorade dripping from your face, and it was really fun. So I enjoyed that. But aside from that, it's all about football.
Did you talk to a guy like London about, hey, if I'm out there doing this stuff, how's this going to be perceived? Anything like that? Yeah,
I talked with my guys about that type of stuff, and we wanted to make sure I wasn't, doing too much before I had already played. But the situations that arose, seemed fine. And if it wasn't good, I'd have definitely felt it in the locker room. But when all the guys showed up, most of them were either laughing about them or just saying that they're really cool. So I think it rubbed the team the right way. And the biggest thing is it's not just about me, it's about the Redskins. And they definitely realize that.
You said you had your playbook, I guess, with all your trips and whatnot, and I know you guys have the iPads and all that stuff. How did you stay mentally sharp night in, night out, just you on your own and making sure you didn't forget a lot of the stuff that you had already learned in such a compact time?
Yeah, we didn't have the iPads until we got back, so I was carrying around that pamphlet, that big book. So I just made sure I spent the right amount of time in the playbook, but didn't try to kill myself with it either. You know, to either know something or you don't know something. So for the most part, it was just refreshing, seeing what I liked, writing down questions that I'd have for the coordinator and the quarterback coach, and then making sure when I saw them that I asked them about those things. And I think it definitely paid off for me. We're definitely going to do things that, you know, I like, the receivers like, and that's what you need to do because, you know, players play, coaches coach, but we're the ones that have to make the plays, and I think a lot of the guys are going to like what we're going to do.
Robert, you just mentioned Waco. I mean, the players playing. When you were in Waco, what was the routine when the guys were down there? How many days did you do it? How many hours per day were you out there?
Yeah, I mean, we went twice a day. I wanted those guys to get a feel for who I was. You know, sometimes you can try to explain to somebody who you are, where you come from, but it's best to just show them sometimes. So I wanted them to get down there, you know, go through a workout with the Baylor team and just see how we worked and those types of things. And you can ask Santana about it. He really liked it. You know, felt like it was something that we should definitely, certain aspects of that, definitely bring out here to Washington. And, you know, I thought it was a very productive as far as throwing, but it was also productive as far as us getting be able to bond.
How many guys came down ultimately, and you hadn't signed yet? Who paid for dinner?
Well, I was going to pay for all the dinners, but I think a couple other guys covered that. They said something about tax breaks and business stuff. So, you know, I let them go ahead and take that burden. You know, I just don't want to say how many guys came down. Just, you know, for the guys that didn't come down, you know, just out of respect for that.
Back in April, you even before you were drafted, you kind of knew that you would be, in your words, the face of a franchise. Now that it's this franchise, with these playoff-starved fans and the 3 first-round picks that were given up, how much do you embrace the idea of being the face of this franchise?
I mean, it was really only 2 because I'm here, so I'm that other pick. But you know, it's a blessing. You know, nobody gets the chance to come to the capital city, the United States, and play and be the quarterback in that town. So I definitely look at it as a blessing. The fans are definitely, you know, starved for success. But I think the players in that locker room are starved for success as well. They want to get out and show people what they're made of, and you know, whether we're ranked first in the poll or 4th in our division, whatever it is, I don't think anybody in that locker room really cares. You know, we know what we have to do to go out and be successful, and you just got to play and let your play do the talking. So, you know, I'm very proud to be a part of this franchise.
Do you like the idea of the face of the franchise?
I mean, there's really no true face of the franchise, because if we all just had faces, you know, we'd all be dead. So there's got to be a heart, got to be some legs, some arms, some skin. So that's those guys in there. I'm just I guess you could say I'm just the mask. You know, those guys are the real ones that make up the body of this team.
Robert, how much contact have you had with Kyle over the last 6 weeks?
Enough contact that we didn't get in trouble, I guess. You know, we talked. I tried to keep it to a minimum, just because, you know, I knew this was coming, training camp, and guys can get burnt out. And if you're constantly calling your coach, asking him questions about things like that, he can get burnt out as well. So I try to respect the fact that those guys are on vacation. But if I really needed to ask a question, I called them up.
Do you feel like you know the playbook better now than you did when you left here from rookie camp, even though you haven't really been on the field with the coaches?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, we're going to go over and do install days the same way we did in OTAs. And I think from that aspect, yeah, I know a little bit more, because I'll hear it. And I won't just hear the basis of it. I can actually dig deeper into it now. But, you know, when it comes to knowing that playbook, no one knows that playbook 100%. It's just about knowing what you have to do. And our job is to stay on the field and score points.
Robert, has a good bit of the playbook been modeled what you do best, your strengths? And do you think it'll put you in a familiar situation where some of what you do this season will look like what you did at Baylor?
I mean, I think that's the mark of good coaching. They're gonna they're gonna help you do things that you're used to doing, put you in situations that you're used to being in. Of course, I never played in the NFL, so that'll take some adjusting, but they're definitely gonna do the things that they feel I do best. And it's not just me. Every year is a different team, different players, and those players do things differently and do things well, and some things not so well. So whatever we do extremely well, that's what we're going to run with.
Robert, you're the type of quarterback who's always enjoyed coaching, always enjoyed the technical aspects of what coaches can impart to you, that type of thing?
Yeah, I definitely do. I respect my coaches. I know as a professional, some guys look at it as eye to eye, and that's going to take some adjusting too. But I definitely respect coaching, and I like to have that. But like Kyle told me the other day, he said he's here to help me, not necessarily to coach me, because I already know how to play football. He's just here to help me find my way through the NFL.
Robert, serious question here. Have you upgraded from the Chrysler Pacifica yet, now that you've got the contract?
Well, unfortunately, my dad sold my Chrysler Pacifica, so I don't have my college car anymore, but I do have a Nissan Armada and an Audi A8, so didn't have to spend any money on those, but it's definitely a good deal to have two free cars.
You said all the attention and the appearances have rubbed your teammates the right way. Do you sense that it's motivated them, that kind of kindled their hunger?
Yeah, I was talking to bring Twitter into the playing field. I was talking to Niles on Twitter, and he was laughing about one of the commercials. I think it was the Gatorade one, and I told him, I'll keep throwing him the ball, and one day he'll have his own commercial. It's not about being in the spotlight unless you're doing it for the right reasons. So it's less about myself and more about helping this team get back to where it wants to be. Those guys see that, and they want us to be in the forefront. They want us to be talked about in a good way, not a bad way. So I think those guys look at it as, hey, we've got our chance to have the spotlight. Let's go seize it.
Robert, you said something earlier in your press conference that to your teammates, you're just Robert, you're not RG3. Is that something you think about? You don't want to be somebody who's kind of larger than life with your teammates?
You can't be. I don't think so. I don't think you can be approachable if you're larger than life, or if they feel that you think you're larger than life. You got to be down to earth, be able to talk to them. Be real with them. I think that's the biggest thing, and I try to be be real with all my teammates. And if they want to call me RG3, they can call me whatever they want. But I think that persona of RG3, as far as a fan, doesn't really. It is not the same feeling for these guys in the locker room.
You've known for a long time you were going to get a pretty big contract, but when you actually got it, it's sort of overwhelming to see the amount and the bonus payment and all that. My parents brought me up pretty good, and I got a lot of faith in God, so I try not to let anything affect me too much, but it was definitely exciting to sign. Not for the money, but just, it's the final the final sign that I've definitely made it to the NFL, not made it in the NFL, but it was exciting. So I was very excited, very proud of that moment.
Robert, the OC of New York came out today and said, he was asked about you. I'm sure you've already seen it by now, but why does this kid have a nickname? We call him Bob. He hasn't done anything yet. Do you think by October 21st, when you guys meet, he'll know who you are?
That's OC for you. So, one of my coaches at Baylor called me Bob. Nobody really calls me Bob, but if that's what he wants to call me, it's fine. You don't have to call me RG3 at all.
Did you have to sing the fight song yet?
I have not, other than the pep rally after I got drafted, but we'll have rookie shows here pretty soon, do some skits, some beatboxing, we'll see what happens.
Robert, you told me you were going to shut down your Twitter account at the NFL draft once the season started. Do you still plan on doing that?
As far as getting rid of it, probably not, but as far as tweeting goes, probably not too much tweeting because, we don't plan on losing any games, but you can't tweet when you win and not tweet when you lose, so you might as well just not tweet altogether.
Robert, from a competition standpoint in games, how receptive are you to coaching? Obviously, in the heat of it, you're playing. How do you handle coaching, on the sideline during games, tight games, score, back and forth, that type of thing? Are you even the whole time through, no matter when, the score is high or the score is low, that type of thing?
Oh, you gotta show emotion. It's just about being able to control your emotion. So I'm an emotional player. I know how to control my emotions, so I know if we're down and the team needs a jolt of energy, I know how to do that. If we're up and we need to make sure we continue to execute, I know how to do that. It's just about knowing how to manage multiple situations And when it comes to just coaching on the sideline, I mean, sometimes you see coaches and players get into heated arguments. Sometimes it's more pretty than other times. But as long as you're both fighting for the same goal, I think you can overcome anything like that.
This offseason has been kind of probably a wild ride for you with the attention and all that. And has it been, and I know everything you said, but has it been hard at times to kind of stay grounded the way you want to? I mean, it would...
I don't know how to answer that, but no, I've tried to stay grounded the whole time and just, we live in a right now world, so it's mostly what have you done for me lately? And right now, the only thing I've been good for the Redskins is fan popularity and the fan base being really excited to come out and support us through this season. So I just try to make sure I stay focused, continue to work, and act like I'm that undrafted free agent who's trying to make the team, and just go out and perform that way.
Last year, Cam Newton put up some video game numbers as a rookie: 4,000 passing yards, 14 rushing touchdowns, 700 rushing yards. When you look at what he was able to do, did you ever think in your mind that that's the kind of numbers I might be able to put up as a rookie in the NFL?
You know those stats pretty well, don't you? I don't really pay attention too much to them. I was never a stats guy. Don't really believe in them. Just feel like you got to do whatever you have to do to help your team win. So Cam definitely had a great year, and he's looking to do big things this year as well. But I don't try to compare myself to anybody else.
Robert, to get back to the past couple of weeks, has anything been overwhelming for you? Have you been able to handle it pretty much in stride? Just the cycle of the endorsements, the appearances, everything you've had to do. Have you been able to at any point feel overwhelmed maybe?
No, not overwhelmed. Just extremely happy that everything's going smoothly. Try to stay even keel, and then now that it's football time, all that stuff can be put behind. It's fun to do the commercials and all that type of stuff, and it's definitely fun to sign a contract. But now it's about playing football.
What's that first speech, if you haven't given it already, to your teammates before you take the practice field? What's that going to be like? What are you going to tell them?
I mean, right now the speech duties are going to London Fletcher, so I'm not going to try to trump him on those. But if I ever had to just sit back and tell those guys anything, it's you want to be certified. One thing I've talked to the rookies about before is if you're the baddest guy in your group, then you got a problem. You don't need to be hanging out with guys that aren't as certified as you are. So we got to make sure that everybody on this team is certified. And by that, there's a word that comes after it, but I'm not going to say it in front of this mic. But you got to be certified, and that makes everybody know that when you line up to the guy next to you, he's going to take care of his business. So that's what we got to do. It can't just be a one-man show. And I'm not going to try to make it a one-man show. It's about all of us going out there, offense, defense, and special teams, and executing football.
You talk about going through the playbook, taking notes, having questions. Is there a particular aspect that you're looking forward to really hitting hard when you're out there on the field?
I mean, just, getting productive plays. The defense, I thought the defense did a really good job in OTAs of limiting us to certain things. We had our big plays and great days, but I felt like they did a really good job. And for me, it's just about making sure we go out every day, and when we walk off the practice field as an offense, we feel good about what we did. And there was a couple of days where we just didn't feel good about what we did. Now, that's a good sign for our defense that they're playing so well, but I know as an offense, our job is to put up points, stay on the field, and give that defense some rest sometimes when they have those long drives.
Do you know how much you're going to play in preseason games?
No, I have no idea. That's up to coach.
A lot of people out there are worried about you getting hurt when you run the ball. You got the speed. You're going to want to take off. Are you a slider? Are you a step out of bounds guy? Or are you going to lower your shoulder every once in a while?
I mean, I've told people this from the get-go. If I need to slide or run out of bounds, I'm going to slide or run out of bounds. But if it's 4th and 1 with 6 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter, I don't care who that linebacker is. You better believe I'm going to try to get in that end zone. So it just depends on the situation. If it's in the first quarter, I'll be sliding and running out of bounds with the best of them. But, if the game's on the line, don't expect me to try to slide or get out of the way. So I don't look at sliding and running out of bounds as a shot to my pride. I've done it before. It's just a matter of, this is the NFL. Guys are, faster, bigger, stronger, and, they hit a little harder. So, I'll respect that. I'll respect my teammates by making sure I stay healthy and, make sure the fans stay happy as well.
What part of your game translates best to pro football?
I don't know, the ability to lead. I think guys, I've said it before to just people I've talked to. If you're a good player in high school, you can be a great player in college. If you're a great player in college, you can be a great player in the pros. It's just about what you do to make sure you're successful. Don't let anybody tell you that, hey, your game doesn't translate. They might have told Darren Sproles that, and look what he's doing now. Same thing goes for Drew Brees. So I just try to make sure I don't listen to too much and hear people say, well, his game doesn't translate, and just go out and play and show people. Not show them up, just show them, hey, it doesn't matter who you are, how tall you are, how big you are, how fast you are. You can play in the NFL if you really go out and take care of business.
You were used to, obviously, a lot of attention at Baylor winning the Heisman and the build-up. Is there anything about the coverage or the fan reaction or the expectations that has maybe surprised you, taken you back, or said, wow, like, I didn't realize it would be this big? Or
to me, it's a similar situation to the one I was in at Baylor. The program had been starved for success for a long time, and we came out, made sure we took care of business and got the program back on top. So it's at a larger scale here in D.C., and I realize that, but I'm not going to put unnecessary pressure on my shoulders when I know it's more of a team thing. All these guys are professionals. Everybody was somebody at somewhere at some time. It's just about making sure they're that person when we play on Sundays or Mondays.
And did you really get sticker shock when you're looking for a place to live?
Yeah, I'm not a spender of money. I don't like to spend money that much. So the prices on some of the places was ridiculous, but we handled that. And then it's nice out here. It's like a jungle, a lot of bugs, a lot of trees, a lot of allergies, but it's definitely fun. I'm a chill guy, so I usually don't do too much, but there's definitely stuff to do, whether you're here in Virginia or in D.C.
Do you have allergies?
No. Is that Yeah, I have allergies. Okay.
Robert, training camp can get monotonous. You said D.C. it's got the bugs, and you haven't felt a D.C. summer with its humidity. How are you going to keep everyone motivated day in and day out?
I'd take this D.C. humidity over Texas heat any day. So, I feel comfortable out here, but it'll be fine. As long as if you don't pay attention to the elements and let them play a factor, then you should be okay. If it's cold outside, and I've seen guys do it before. I probably won't, but they go and play football with no shirts on when it's 20 degrees outside. It's just about your mindset. So if you come outside saying, man, it's hot, well, you're probably gonna have a bad day.
I saw you listed at 217. Did you intentionally lose a few pounds from April when you were a little over 220 at the combine?
Oh no, I'm actually 225 today, but it doesn't matter to me what my weight is. One of the vets told me today, in college they tell you to weigh a certain weight, but in the pros you just play what you're comfortable at. So as long as I'm anywhere from 218 to 225, I should be fine.
Robert, it sounds like staying humble is helping you gain the trust and the respect of your teammates. Is there anything else that you're doing? Are you the first one in, last guy out kind of player? Yeah,
I think they see how hard I work, how hard a lot of these guys work. I talk to these guys a lot just about little things, whether it's picking up on what Fletch has done to last so long, or should I say conquer so long in the league. Sometimes people think it's what you say when you're in the huge group that really makes people think you're a leader, but sometimes it's the one-on-one conversations you have with guys individually, just getting to know them. And I think I've done a lot of that, not intentionally, it just happens. Some people can do those types of things, some people can't, and I think the team, they might not have accepted me as their leader yet, but they definitely see me as a guy that can help.
You were saying you're a pretty chill guy. What have you been able to check out in the DC area?
Not much, because wherever I go, it's a pretty crazy scene. But I've gone to the movies. I went on a bus tour in DC. I went to the U.S. National team, the games up there. So that was fun. But other than that, I haven't really done too much. I tried to stay out of the city, just make sure I stay focused and stay grounded, rather than always being out, always being the focal point of everything. Sometimes you just need to sit back, sit on the couch, and drink some Kool-Aid or something.
What's the craziest scene you were out in? Like people mobbing you and everything?
Oh, I mean, it's not a mob. It's not a negative thing. It's just being a professional football player, you go places, people are going to want to talk to you. They're going to take pictures. That's just a part of it. So it doesn't bother me, but sometimes you have to try to just stay to yourself so that it doesn't get too bad.